Welcome back to the channel, the Self-Image Alchemist. And in this video, I want to tackle a bunch of questions this YouTuber started to ask about manifestation. A few of them were, why do manifestation teachers keep making videos if they already told you how to manifest? Like, what could they be possibly telling you? Why do they tell you different things on how to manifest? Like, didn't they already tell you how to do it? Especially when they tell you like whether the source they got it from came from, and then they're telling you something different. Why didn't some of the great people who used to teach this stuff, like Neville Goddard, Wayne Dyer, why didn't they live to see 110 or 120 or even more? Right? These are a lot of questions this YouTuber had about manifestation. He's a little bit of an older gentleman. His complaint or his concerns, I guess, were that if these YouTubers or people who teach a manifestation were so good at manifestation, why didn't they live to see 110 or 120 or so on and so forth? And why do current manifestation teachers tell you so many different things on how to manifest when he believes it's just this one way, like to manifest? Like, because he started out, I believe, listening to Neville Goddard, and he resonated with him. He liked him. He liked what he said, and he said he also mentioned that it was I think some kind of quote in the Bible: "Believe of what you ask for, and it will be yours." Something that Jesus said, I believe. That Neville Goddard said something similar, but he he said it in a little bit of a weirder way. So yeah, I just want to answer a lot of these questions that he had. He's very skeptical, and I'm a very skeptical individual. He started out telling how he wanted to manifest a Ferrari, and then this is back in 2019, I believe, which is funny because this is around the same time I started my journey, around 2018, 2019. So it's kind of funny. He's a little bit, like I said, he's a little bit of an older gentleman. So he's definitely a little seasoned. He's lived a life. He's not old. He's not super old, but he's older than myself. So he's definitely lived a life. And I only bring that up because he's definitely developed a certain mindset before he even discovered any of this stuff, right? So what he has done is listen to Neville Goddard. And Neville Goddard talks about something about how to use your imagination. And Neville Goddard mentions this one thing called the state akin to sleep. A lot of newer YouTubers call it SATS, S-A-T-S, that's what it stands for, the state akin to sleep. So basically, if you were to imagine what it is you desire or want to manifest into your life, if you can hold that image and that whatever scene that is until you actually fall asleep while imagining it, that it's pretty much a guarantee, is what he was saying. And he said he's done that a few times actually, and still nothing, right? So anyway, I just wanted to address that. So and I kind of like sent him on a journey. Of course, if you like one video on YouTube, YouTube's going to say, oh, you like this? And they're going to send you a whole bunch of stuff. So he started seeing a whole bunch of other YouTubers after that. And they were all of them were saying different things. Even certain YouTubers would say multiple different things. They would keep making videos, and that kind of confused him. So without further ado, let's kind of like jump in. I wrote a couple notes just to talk about it. So the first thing is first, and I talk about this on one of my earlier videos on this channel. I believe it's the second video, and that's pretty much the gist of where I want to start anyway, at the very least. And that's that manifestation isn't about getting anything. It just isn't. If you approach it that way, more often than not, you're gonna fail at it. You're gonna, for one, it's something that naturally occurs, so you don't need to try. It's like trying to learn how to breathe. Like it's the most natural thing. You don't need to try to manifest. You always do it. What you do need to try to do is to be the person that has that thing, right? Like manifestation isn't about getting anything. It's about being. It's about becoming. And I don't even like to say becoming. I like to say being, like being that thing. Like, I give you an example. If I want to be a YouTuber, I have to make YouTube videos. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I imagine that in the state akin to sleep before I fall asleep, and it's supposed to be all but a guarantee. Yeah, I still have to participate in this world. We live in a 3D world. I can't imagine that and then sit on my butt all day and never pick up a camera and make a YouTube video. It makes zero sense. It doesn't work like that. You need to be an active participant in your 3D environment and in your reality. There are some things that you can manifest or imagine that have absolutely nothing to do with you, that you have no control over, that you don't need to physically exert yourself to go out and do things, and they will come to you. But those are manifestations that involve a lot of other people. And it's the same even with YouTube. Like, you still need people to watch your videos, people to subscribe, etc., etc. And by the way, if you do like this video, like and subscribe, by the way. But you do need other people for that too. But that's out of your control. Only thing you can do, or in this case, the example I'm using, I can do, is to actually get up, put a camera in front of my face, and start talking. I need to make videos. Like, there's no way around that. I can imagine it all day long. I can write it down. I can put it on my vision board. But if I'm not actually doing this, it's not going to happen. It's just that simple. So how does that apply to this guy wanting the Ferrari? Well, for one, he's not looking for it. All right. So let me skip down on this list. He's hyper focused on the outcome of what it is that he wants. So he's constantly looking for the Ferrari. Like, if you had and he also, in this video, before I go further into that, he mentioned how he has this belief that you have to be like, oh, if I have the thing that I desire, I'm going to be happy all the time and all this stuff. And that's not realistic. So I think that's a large error on his part. He has other videos. Maybe he's learned since then. He doesn't even have a manifestation channel. It's just a channel with a bunch of, I guess, like a vlog channel, I guess. And he just so happened to talk about that. He made a couple videos about it, about his experiences with it. So that's a huge issue, because you don't have to be, you're not going to be like perfect all the time. Like, it's plenty of times in my past life, I wanted this car or that car. And when I got it, like, I would still have days where I would be upset or pissed off or even mad at the car itself. You know what I mean? That's not going to change. You're not going to be like blissed out all the time just because you have the thing that you want. Like, it doesn't work like that. If that's the case, this whole system would just crumble. Like, it wouldn't even, no one would learn anything. No one would do anything. No, it just doesn't, isn't the reality that we live in, right? So this guy was hyper focused on the outcome. All right. And the reason I brought that up, because if you're hyper focused on the outcome, for one, you're not even, because if you had that Ferrari, if you had your desire, you wouldn't be looking for it. You would know it's outside parked in front of your house. That's one thing. So you wouldn't be constantly, you wouldn't have that feeling of still desiring it, right? He has not detached from that. As the time of that video it's kind of old. So he's probably in a different mindset now. Not 100% sure. Who knows? But at that time, he was definitely not in that mindset. Which brings me to another point. And when you manifest certain things, even Neville Goddard talks about it. It's a process. As Neville Goddard describes it, as the bridge of incidents that unfold. It's an unfolding of that, right? So it has to unfold. Well, how does it unfold? It unfolds by you just going about life, and he says, Neville Goddard says, you don't have to do anything, which a lot of people misunderstand. But because there's really nothing you can do, because it's going to come to you. But a lot of people completely misunderstand that. You still have to be an active participant in your reality. You have to act natural. You don't have to do anything outside of the ordinary. Act on your desires, act on your impulses, act on your intuition. Do those things. Just like me making this video. I can imagine it all day, but if I get an idea to make a video like this one, I need to act on it to be an active participant in that reality, because in the reality that I desire, I am that YouTuber. I am, yada yada yada, and all these things. Like that guy, he in his reality, desired reality, he has that Ferrari. So he needs to act accordingly and get into alignment with that. And I give an example of some things you can do if that is the car that you want to manifest. I mean, who doesn't want a Ferrari? You know what I mean? I mean, like, for example, with me, I'm a car guy, so I do love cars. But I always take care of my cars. I don't care what kind of car it is. If I own it, I'm taking care of that shit. I'm washing it and waxing it at least once a week. And that may seem kind of crazy to you, but I get joy from it. I love washing my car. I love wiping down my car. I just do. But that's me. So if I wanted that Ferrari, then yeah, that's how I would act. I also don't like parking next to people. I don't like try to fit my car in these little tight parking spaces. I'm the guy that parks in the back of the parking lot. That's me. So when you go to a back of a parking lot and you see that one car in the back, that's probably me. Seriously, I don't like to park next to people, and especially because I used to drive a lot of sports cars. And Jack, well, not used to, I still do, but I tend to park away from people because I don't like people to bump my door. I don't like people all standing around my car, touching it and all this stuff. So I park in the back of the parking lot. That's what I do. That's little things that I do. I'm willing to bet this guy isn't doing those kind of little things, which tells me that he is not in alignment. Maybe he was. I honestly don't know. But he hasn't gotten it, so clearly he's not in alignment with it. And if he is, it's a long bridge of incidents for him. And that's probably because of his mindset. And that's a huge part of manifestation. It's the transformation of your mindset into the person who has the thing that you want. It's not going to magically just pop up outside of your door. And if that does, I'll give you an example. The other day, I was imagining something. It was about a car. And I end up, and this happens to me often, because I'm constantly thinking about cars, because I love cars. It's like one of the things that I love. One of many things. That, manifestation, this stuff, space, like a lot of shit that I'm into. So I random thought about a car that I wanted to see that I enjoy. It's Audi R8. One just so happened to ride. It's so out of place. One just happened to ride past my street, and I guess he was joyriding because he did it a couple times, just flooring it, just like revving the engine and everything. And I thought that was so weird because I was just thinking of that. It's a manifestation. Like anything that you dwell on in your imagination intensely with feeling will manifest in your reality on some level. I'm willing to bet that this person, after having imagined him having that Ferrari in the state akin to sleep, I guarantee you he was seeing Ferraris everywhere. Like on TV, maybe in real life, some drove past them, and he was probably having these strong impulses to act a certain way or to be to certain places to help him transform into that person who owns that Ferrari. He probably didn't act on them. Maybe he did. Maybe starting his YouTube channel was a way to kind of like address that. And the other thing is, honestly, he probably really didn't even really want the Ferrari. It was probably something else that he was desiring, and he thinks the Ferrari is going to get him that feeling. It's another reason why sometimes your manifestation might not come in, because on a deep soul level, you probably really don't even want that. You probably want something else. Like for me, I used to think I wanted to win the lottery, and I did a few times, but nothing significant, nothing life-changing. You know what I mean? And I used to win constantly because I kept imagining it, and I was constantly winning. Like first like $5 or $10 here, then it was like $20 or $30, then it went up to like $50, then $100, and after it got that, I noticed how expensive that habit got for me buying lottery tickets and scratch-offs. I was like, I really don't want to keep spending so much money. It's hard to turn into like an investment or more like a gamble. You know what I mean? But that's on a spectrum anyway. So like on one end of the spectrum is considered gambling, on the other end it's an investment, right? So for me, it was more of a gamble. Like, maybe not so much as a gamble, but I just didn't want to do that, right? And then eventually I realized I really don't want to win the lottery anyway. I want to be successful on that level, but I don't want to win the lottery. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a part of me, a large part of me, that's like, I don't want it to be given to me. Because if it's given to me in that way, I feel like it would be very unsatisfying to me. And I'm smart enough to know that. I'm intuitive enough to know that. So that's not something that I want. I mean, will I take it? Hell yeah, I'll take it. Who wouldn't take it? You know what I mean? But I know a large part of me like doesn't want to become super successful or wealthy in that way. I just don't want to that way. Like I said, it'd be very unsatisfying for me, and maybe for you it won't be that, and maybe you want to win the lottery for other reasons, like you just want the financial freedom. You can have that without winning the lottery. So like I said, a mindset or transformation is definitely in order for this guy and for anyone who may look at manifestation in the same way. So yeah, and that kind of leads me into like the correct way to carry that assumption, to put on the garment, as Neville Goddard would say, since we bringing him up, is to basically walk in that assumption that you have the thing. And I kind of just touched on all that stuff I said a minute ago too, is pretty much what you have to do. You have to act like that person, and it will come naturally. You know, you have to naturally start being like that. That's just what it is. And if it's hard for you to act like being that person, maybe you need to start thinking like, do I really want this thing, or do I want or do I give an example. Do I really want this Ferrari, or do I want the feeling the Ferrari is going to get me? Because I can get that feeling not even from a car. I can get that feeling through other ways. And maybe the Ferrari will just happen, the opportunity to actually purchase one may come. Maybe the money will come, and then you have the money to purchase it. I mean, that can be one opportunity. It can be an opportunity that it will come in. So that's that. So, and what's that? Yeah, so this guy is way too focused on the outcomes. And the other thing he was mentioning, that's what it was. I lost my train of thought. He said, what was it? Oh, how people, manifest teachers, talk about so many different things. What they're doing, first of all, a lot of them are, and I'm not gonna say any names, right? A lot of them, manifestation teachers, especially on YouTube, that mention so many different things about, manifesting. They're like, oh, this is the way you manifest, and then the next video they tell you something completely different, and it can be misleading and confusing. A lot of those teachers, again, I'm not gonna say any names, are full of shit, right? They don't know what they're talking about. They had a little bit of success with one thing, and more often than not, they probably got into manifestation and be like, oh yeah, I manifested this, I can teach it, but they have a journey to go through. We all have our journey to go through. So a lot of the things they say, it's bullshit. It just is, right? And there are some that are not, and a lot of those actually give actual techniques you can use to help you get into that mindset, to help you get into alignment, to help you detach from outcomes. You know what I mean? But that's part of that mindset transformation. That's what they're not telling you another way to manifest. They're telling you how to get into alignment with your manifestation. That's totally different. And I think this gentleman that I'm referring to, and this other YouTuber, I think he kind of missed that point, because he kind of just watched video here, video there, video here. So the video I saw, clearly he was in the beginning of his journey. But I imagine there is a lot of people out there like that. So that's the reason this video was inspired by that idea. So yeah, so that's all it is. It's a lot of YouTubers constantly make videos about manifestation, like myself, because trying to help you get into alignment with it is what you want. It's like a mindset transformation. Like, you need to be in the energy for it to happen. It's not magic. It's very logical. It's very backed by science, I believe, honestly, which is all spiritual. I think it's all spiritual, honestly. I don't believe anything not being spiritual, because I believe that we all are spiritual beings. So everything that we do and associate with too is spiritual. Even though some of the things may, and like for example in this 3D world, may feel tangible, it is still spiritual. And we are here having that spiritual experience through a 3D body. That's just that simple. So we need to follow the rules in this 3D world. Some can be bent, some can be broken. It's just that simple. Kind of like the movie The Matrix. That really is a good parallel, honestly, to some degrees, with the concepts or what have you. But I don't want to mislead anyone. So yeah, So is manifestation BS? No, it's definitely not. It's the most natural thing you can possibly do. Oh, and let me touch on that last point about Neville Goddard passing away, and Wayne Dyer passing away. Rest in peace to both of them, because I learned a lot from both of them, especially Neville Goddard. And I think he only mentioned Wayne Dyer because I believe he discovered that Wayne Dyer was actually a student of his. So, or he learned from, or what have you. So why didn't he live to see 110 to 120 or what have you? Because you don't have control over how long you live. Only thing you can do is keep your body as healthy as you can. And plus, these men weren't exactly in perfect health to begin with. Like Neville Goddard, I mean, he drank every now and again. You know what I mean? Like no human lives like a perfect life. Like it just doesn't happen that way. It takes a tremendous amount of effort, and most people just don't want to do that. They want to enjoy their lives, and I think you should enjoy your life. I'm not saying be indulgent or go crazy, but you can manifest whatever it is you want, but you're not going to manifest an extension on your life. You can manifest being healthy throughout your life, but you don't have any control in this physical body on how long this body is going to last. You just don't. Like that's just physics. Like your physical body eventually is going to die. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe in miracles, and there are circumstances people live extremely long, and maybe some cases that no one has ever heard about. But I will say this, like, because of my beliefs, I just don't believe that this is meant to be temporary. Right? You're not going to manifest living a gazillion years. So, like, it's like, come on, it's silly to think about. Like, it really is. And who the hell wants to do that anyway in the same physical body at that? Like, come on. Yeah, that's just kind of, that part he mentioned was kind of silly. I think, honestly, it's just his frustration coming out. That's like the same argument with, if manifestation is real, then why isn't everyone a millionaire? Why isn't everyone a billionaire? Because if it were that simple to do, and on the soul level, if we all wanted to do that, then this world would be totally different. But on the soul level, we don't want to do that. So I definitely also think that this individual is definitely lacking a lot of, at least at this time in his journey, lacking a lot of spiritual clarity. So he's not leaning more into like his religion or whatever it is believe in. He needs to lean a little bit more into that to answer those questions. But if he's in manifestation, he's got to be spiritual on some level. Like, I mean, there's got to be something there. But yeah, you're not going to put an extension on, you can become healthier and end up living longer. And you can even manifest that, but you're not going to manifest living, say, like 300 years. Like, just don't be silly with it. You know, I'm just going to be straight up with you. I'm not even going to try to explain that. Like, that's silly, right? Living a long, healthy life, yeah, you can do that. You know, and the more you lean into the idea, the more you would get ideas on how to do that for, you know, as long as you can. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's meant to be enjoyed, not stretched out so long it becomes stale. I don't understand who will want to do that. I don't know. Maybe some of you want to do it. You know, to each his own. Is it probable? Is it possible? Yes, anything is possible. I do believe that. Is it probable though? No, not even no. It's not probable at all. So I'm trying to be very logical about it, and both in alignment with my spirituality. So I'm trying to be, yeah. But yeah, so that's what I got for this video. So anyway, if you want to know more about manifestation and what works, what doesn't work, like, subscribe to the channel, and also check out my playlist where I specifically talk about what works and doesn't work with manifestation, you know, throughout my journey. And yeah, that's what I got. So till next time.